Almost got me that time.
Nice try.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
Try again.
Nice try.
Almost got me that time.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, easy now. No need to hurry.
What did they do to me?
Let's get our bearings. Not a very chatty fellow, are you? This again?
You're my...
With 2 shakes of her stumpy...
Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. A gentleman and...
I should have known there'd be trouble.
Let sleeping dogs lie. Boring.
Empty.
the most elegant solution, was it? Boring.
Now, where did I leave my calipers?
Empty. Empty.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the log. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Oh dear, I'm afraid you're a long way from home, milady. A long way from the little bells that make a footman come a...
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort... A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source.
For good.
Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into...
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but there you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. You've been collared and you've been told why. There really is no need for you to linger.
I'll need to write to headquarters right away. No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Good gods, there's been a murder here. Quite the mess they made.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
You've been collared and you've been told why. There really is no need for you to linger.
Not with that collar on. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. Yes, this is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
Come on, please, Losa.
Thing. I did.
It was one of them. I know it. They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
Wow. You're a
One of us would.
My mum is afraid of lizards. I'm not.
We just skip to the part.
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer.
You think me mad?
Mad?
you are, wife. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. Why, I never. I left my good pals at home, or I'd be clutching them with all my daintiest, most ladylike might. Say as you will, wife. Madame Josephine Gribbles to Peep won't be treated so.
The children break out into giggles.
What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one.
You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over.
Good luck, Chief.
I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave, of course. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Please, please, please.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, kiddo. You hear that?
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his attention to the ship once more.
You look like a kiddo to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
How dare you classify this...
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger, it's...
He cocks his ear to the other side, then...
anticipation. She senses something. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeeze!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you...
There! You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, kiddo. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading... Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Jo... Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here. No, indeed, kiddo. But that ain't my final
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank ye kindly, Ghetto.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you?
How dare you classify this
I'm busy
slop
watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Suit yourself. Was just going to adjust your collar for you. It pinches.
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword, and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from... no. The dead man. Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but...
What are you conspiring about over there? You!
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just gotta be in it.
Name!
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his volume.
Away with you!
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like cats. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us will take that rope. Get this off one by one. Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up? Mad? Insufferable, surely. I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a
The
murder.
elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, he reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your scales, and he sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious.
What purpose did that serve? Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some... You have my apologies. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me. I do not believe I've been drawn anywhere. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in... No. I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like... Now, please, run along. I have a world to
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your question.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger.
There's nothing else I can make.
You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concern.
And if she...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happening? That woman. What's she done?
No time for chatter. We've got to get out of here.
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls. The hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Please, make it stop. Oh. Too much. Can't smell. Can't breathe.
The dog whines and continues pawing at its nose.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Thank gods! By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards it.
Another sorcerer! Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go! Do what you must.